Hello everybody. In this video we are going to build a really simple website, and I'm actually thinking doing a simple to-do application. That to-do application will allow us to add new tasks that we need to submit, and then we can clear those tasks with a specific link. We will show you how to use one external library need to be installed. We are going to be using Flask for this, and it's going to be really simple. I don't even going to be using a database. I will fake a database through a list. And so let's get started. The idea is just to be as simple as possible in order to understand how a website can be run through Python. So let's start with installing Flask. So you're using a Windows machine, you use the pip command. If you're your Mac computer, after we did the development setup, you actually need to do pipe 3. So depending whether you're at pip 3 or just pip, depending, and you do install Flask, and that's it. It's going to install a bunch of dependencies. In my case, I already have it. In your case, probably will take a little bit longer, but after you finish it and you have everything there, we can start using it. So I'm already inside my folder. So let me just create my application. And in order to the website to run, we need to import that library. So pip, what it did is actually install the library globally in the computer. So we can actually use from the library of Flask. I want to import Flask. And there's a couple of things that we need to use. One of those is we need to keep like an instance of that Flask function somehow. And we are going to get pretty much the name. And in order to run it, we need to define if the name is equal to main. If that's actually true, we do app run. While we are doing this is just to Flask actually to be like this. Perfect. We are doing this because this is the main information that Flask needs to do to run. So we need to import the instance and the library. We have an instance of the library to the app, and after everything is rendered and the name is the main application, we are going just to run it. That's pretty much it. But we need to define some function, and let me define my home function. And this home function, the things that we're going to be doing is pretty much render a simple hello. So in this, we're just going to return hello there. But as any website, we need to specify a specific route. The route are the little things that we have on the top of the URLs. So this is going to be the DNS entry, or the website or localhost where we're going to be running, and the different how can I say it, route are the ones that are going to be defined after that. So the first route that we need to define is going to be the root route. And something that actually how we need to do is we need to wrap this in a declarative variable, or a decoration variable function. If you don't know what that means, don't worry. It's just a simple way to put it tied it up with a specific route, and I will show you. It's just simply we need to it's going to a specific route, and my route is going to be my home. Do this, and that's it. So whenever I hit home, and we need to specify with an at the beginning, we're going to execute this particular function. That's the only thing that we're doing here. So after we define that, we need to run it. In my case, it's going to be a Python 3 application. My application is going to be running in this URL. We can click it from there, or we can actually just get it from here, and we have that simple hello there. If we change this again, I'm a website. Let's save it, Of course, we need to cancel the execution. The execution is running like a loop, so you need to terminate it and then run it again. Sorry. So we do the Python 3 application py, and if we go again, you see that the text gets updated. That is the way that we can actually use an application. It's pretty neat. It's pretty cool. Of course, this kind of application actually, this is not the best way to use it. It's going to be actually better if you can actually render something. So one of the cool things is we can actually create a new folder. We need to call it templates. And in there, let's actually create a new file. It's going to call index.html. In there, I will do a simple HTML document. If that's too fast for you guys, forget about that. Just making it easy. Let me just delete this. Let me keep it as simple as possible. We're going to put the title is going to be my to-do list, and here with h1 I will define like a title, my to-do list, and then leave it like that. This is an HTML document. An HTML document is an HTML equivalent for hypertext markup language. Markup language came out with different directives how to specify sections. So we need to specify different content in these keys, and then we can specify the content inside, and we can have like a, how can I say, hierarchical way where, for example, this title element, it has my to-do list as a content, and it's inside my head element. My head element, it have a beginning and it have an end. Of course, the ending tag will have the forward slash at the beginning. This is just a simple markup language how to do things. So for example, in this case, we are just using a simple my to-do list. Let's go back to the application, and what we need to do is we need to import something extra, and we call it render template. This will allow us to use a specific HTML site that we have. So whenever we go to home, we can actually say render template, and my template is going to be my index.html. We need to close, cancel, or terminate the process, execute it again, and we can define that my to-do list, we can see it's right there. Oh, I didn't save it, so let me save it. Let me restart the app, and I see my to-do list as a title. Perfect. So this is a simple way to actually have a to-do list. So what I want to do here is I want to have like a list of different elements. So I will mimic a database connection. Let's do this. Is going to be my database. It's going to be how can I say it? We can say probably the database is going to be an empty list, for example. So let's fake the database connection there, and actually put a couple elements, element 1 and another element 2. So we can actually pass those elements to a website. After the render template, we can actually send something particular. We can actually call this task. It's going to be equal my database, and this task element is going to be sent through here. How we render that information? This is a simple list in this example, and we know that we can do a traditional application. We just do the print, for example, my database in this case, and it should print this element. But how we actually can print to the index.html? We need to set that. We need to give it a name and call it a task in this case, and make it to my database. And in my HTML, the way that we can do it, let me do a p tag that does mean a paragraph. In order to read something that came from the server, we need to specify it with double curly brackets. If we do that, and I call him my task, and I believe I have it plural, yes, I want to render my task, let me restart my server. This is what I will do. You just print my task, element 1 and element 2. If I add another element, another one, of course I cancel this and run it again, I can verify that that element got added. So that's the way that you bind the information from a Python element through the render template. You just send that particular variable, and you can send variable a lot of things. You can actually send like name, let's say for example name equal Rodolfo, and we can do something like, we can actually do a name here, for example. Let me restart it, and it's a Rodolfo's to-do list, right? And I have an extra one. Sorry, let me save it again, restart it. So this name of this variable came from this definition, and we still can do different Python things. We can actually do, I don't know, something like x equal 10, j equal 20, and we can put actually value equal a string. We need to cast it, x plus y, something like that, and we can actually print it here after my task. Let's actually do my value, restart the server. So we're binding the information, and that means that we have Terry over here. So you can actually still do in Python things and do different operations. You do whatever you actually need to have there, and then we just bind it. So and then through the render template. This is one of the ways to actually do it, right? So for now, we'll just keep this over here. Let's remove the value, and let me remove the value from here. Cool. Of course, we need to remove those. So now we know how to render a template. The other things that we need to learn is how to specify or how to render this element in a better way. So right now, the things that we're doing, we are sending the whole list all together. What I want to have here is like a different, like a list. I want to print which element one by one. How that's possible? That's possible doing through the index, and that's pretty cool. Double curly brackets, it allows us to to print a specific value or take some value from Python and put it over here. But we can actually have another element. Let me have an unordered list, and we can have some other element that will use one curly bracket and double percentage. This will allow us to execute Python code. This is to show Python values. This is to execute Python code. So what we can do here? Well, we can do, for example, for task, in task, we know that we are actually sending the task as a plural. So we can actually loop through that, and then we can actually print my task value. One of the things that happen here is we actually need to close that block. So we need to do an end for. So this will allow us to do some dynamically, and task dynamic is going to do a for. We go to each task and give it the value of task, and then it will print that particular task in a list element. This is just a way in HTML to have a different list with a bullet point on the left. So after we have that, sorry, let me restart my server, and if I restart it, I have one of my elements in one particular list. So it goes and it recreates each element through this particular for doing this. Pretty neat. So one of the things that I actually do before actually showing that, I want to have a specific form. And this form is going to be pointed to the same place. That's why we need to put like action equal pound. That means that we'll know ready whenever you have a form, that means that we are going to send it to somebody else. So we just keep it here. And the method is going to be post. That one means HTML have different ways to access information. Whenever you're requesting a page for something like this, it's a GET request. Whenever you send something, information through the website, it's a POST request. So that's why we changed the method over there. We don't need to dig it that much, so just a differentiation. Whenever we render, it's going to show something, that means a GET. And when they're going to be sending through HTML, that's really important, not through Python. Whenever we're sending from here to the server, we need to post it. That's why the method is changing. So in there we will have a simple input and submit it. So we have an input type text, and we have a name of new task, and we have a button type submit that's going to have the add. This is what it does, and let me actually restart my application. We'll also have this input box and the add button. What I want to do with the add is I want to send something. As you can see, it sent me to the same page, but my method is not allowed because I don't define it how to read that particular method, something that we're going to see later. But for now, I want to see that I have that information. We can see that I have the GET request when we read the information. Actually, let me start over. So if we enter to the site, we did a GET request. Whenever we post something, we do a POST request. We can actually see that happening over here, but we are landing in the same page. What happened is that it's not allowed. That means that we need to make it available in our site. How we make it available? That's really simple. Through here, we just need to add the methods. It's going to be a list, and we're going to set get and post. As simple as that. So let me start over. If we do, we have the first get and then two different posts sending the information to here. Right? That's the way that we can actually see it. Now we need to read the information that we are sending, and it's going to be through the value that is going to be sent through here. So how we access that particular value? That means that we need to import something extra. It's called the request, and they come for the post section. What we need to do is we can actually have it here. We can have something like is request dot method equal to post is going to do something, right? We don't know what exactly yet, and we all get going to be rendered the same page. So whenever we send a request method post, we need to do something about it. What are we going to be doing? Well, we're going to be reading our element that we'll be saving over here. So let me see if I can actually print it. I never tried that. So let me do a print request dot form dot request dot form, because it came from a request, came from a form, and that particular input is called new task. So this is actually a dictionary, and we need to specify the new task like that. And let's see if it's actually helps. Let me re-render it. Let me restart it. Oh, hello there. and we see that hello there will actually get printed. So that means this is the way that we verify if a task was added. So we can actually do something like this. New task equal to this element to make request, and we're talking about from my form that is in my index, and the new task that is actually my input call new task, and just saving that value per se in a variable. And I can do, we can actually say the length of my new task. So I'm gonna go back there and do hello. Oh, I didn't restart it, sorry. Hello. Okay, we can see the length. So we can see if length of new task is bigger than 0, we're going to print it, else print no value provided. Let's try it. Let's do something there. Get printed. Perfect. And let me actually just print my new task just to have it there. Probably it's going to be better. So we print something, we can see it, it's there. If we do something like empty and try it, no value provided. So we can do validation through here. It's a way to actually validate my information is actually being imported. So in this case, I don't want to do anything here. So I don't want to do an else. So I want to verify if my length is bigger. What I want to do there is just in my task, in my database, I will append my new task. As simple as that. In this case, because my database is a list, I can append new elements, and then I will render the elements and I will type my database through there. So that means with this simple append, I can actually put hello there. Probably need to restart it, sorry. There you go. So I start over, I do hello there, and get added. I put another, again, you just get added. This is a simple way how to add that new task over here. Pretty neat, right? So that means that we can actually empty our database. We don't need to have predefined elements. And we start the application again. And we have something simple. So we can do 1, 2, 3. There you go. We can start adding application. What happened? Whenever we're running, that state is going to be there. But because we actually not saving it anywhere, if I close it and try to run it again, that it gets empty. Why? Because you're working with the list and not saving that list anywhere. We can actually probably do saving to a file, and we can iterate through the file whenever we open the application, and that way we pre-populate our tasks. But that's something extra. So let's leave it like that. So this is the way. That sounds like the Mandalorian. This is the way. Sorry. After this, we can actually, because I have my application pretty much ready. What I want to do is I want to complete my task. So how can I complete my tasks? What I was actually thinking is inside my list, I can do something like a link That link will be a simple X. This is what we'll do. Now let me show you. Is whenever I click that particular X, this was really only one. I know. I wanted to actually delete this particular list that I have there. Cool. So I need to do that. But not only that, I just realized something. We can actually save the same task multiple times. I don't want to do that. So probably we need to do an extra validation here. And probably it could be something like really simple as its length task is bigger than 0 and new task not in database. I don't know if it is going to work. Let's try it. We can do one. No, I didn't like it. Okay, probably need to. Oh, sorry, I'm redoing the and with JavaScript. Sorry, it's a simple and like this. So let me restart it. I'm so sorry. So let's do something like this. I'll do 1, 2. If I add 2 again, it doesn't do anything because it's already there. I can add 3. Perfect. 4. Let me try to add 4 again. It doesn't do it because it's in my database, so it knows that it's already there. If I try to add 1, it doesn't add it. But if I try 1 lowercase, it's actually do it. So we need just to be careful with that. So, but probably that's it. We can do probably extra validation, like take each element and verify if those ones are there, but I don't want to do it. So let's keep it as simple as that. Just equals. So that means, and let me close this, I have almost everything done. What I want to do now, I want to import a couple of new elements, and that's going to be a redirect and going to be URL4. And a couple of elements that will help us handle that deletion. Why? Because I want to do this one, and I will render something from my Python. That's why I will render a value. Double curly brackets, remember, is render a value. And from that, what I want to do is I want to get the URL for. That's why I'm importing that. And I want to get the URL for something really important. Here I will use single quotes because HTML use double. That means that inside I need to use single, something really important. So I will create a delete route. It's a different route, and that route will have the task send it equal to this particular task. So I can do something like this. And I can create another route after this one called application.route. It's going to be a delete route, and I will have a variable here, and it will be task. This is just to send like a particular variable. So in that I will define my delete function. I will do just print my task, and I will do redirect to my actually need to return something. I will redirect, that's why I will import that, my URL for home. So you will say, what you're doing, Rolf? Well, something really simple. Oh, I need to take that element. Yeah. So this is a variable, so we can match it to whatever we needed, and this variable, this value, whatever we send over here, is going to be added to my function, and through my definition function, I just want to print it, and then I get back to home. So let's see if that's actually works. Let me run it, and because I have this redirection, it to send me to somewhere else, and I will give me the URL from my home function. My home function is my root URL. That way I have it like that, and in my index I give it the URL from my delete function. That's pretty much. And then I tie it up with the information that I actually need to set. After doing that, if I go here, I do 1, 2, 3, for example. If I hover over, you will see on the bottom, and probably you cannot see it right now. It says delete 1, delete 2, delete 3. So if I click this one, I will print 1 because what I'm doing in my delete is just print that particular task. If I click this one, I will print 3, but I'm redirecting to here again. That's why I can send it. And I can actually, let me return something else. So let me actually return my task. And let me comment this out. This will allow us to have something like this. Go to delete 1, and 1 get printed. So whatever I put over here, so if I put something like this, that get printed, or whatever we put over there, that's what get printed because this is the task name, right? So we can actually create and dynamically the route to that particular deletion. We see this actually working. Perfect. So that means I can remove this, I can remove this, I can redirect this. And what I want to do is pretty much go to my database, and because right now it's just a simple this, I can do simple remove my task and redirect it to home. If you are actually a database, you need to find the element, verify that it exists, stuff like that. For this particular case, I'm just doing a simple stuff like removing from my list, and that's it. So I can actually click it. Oh, I need to restart my app. There you go. So I do 1, 2, 3. If I click 2 over here, it just get deleted. Okay, add another, and another. Okay, click this one, that will get deleted. Depending which one you're actually hitting, it's actually doing. And I believe with this we have a really simple to-do list that we can actually add new elements. We have a simple way to do some kind of validation, and we have a simple HTML site to render that. So make and add some video, maybe. There you go. So I hope that you like it. Any question, any doubt, don't hesitate to reach me, guys. Happy coding, everybody.